And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is June 18th already, and we got some nice weather coming up. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, John Frankel is here from the Third Board, and there's several things he's going to be updating for us, including the Performing Arts Center, their special ad hoc committee. Also, Dr. Trin is here today from Irvine Clinical Research, and he is going to talk about some new advances in Alzheimer's vaccines that they're beginning to kind of uncover that could have a very nice, good effect on the future coming up. So it'll be an interesting conversation. Now, today with the Orange County Fire Authority, we are going to meet their new public information officer, Tony Bomarito, and also Steve Concialdi is going to stop by as well. We are going to mainly be talking about drowning statistics. This is the start of summer. Actually, officially, in about 3 days, it's the start of summer. But needless to say, we've already had some few tragic drownings over the last couple months in Orange County. So this is something, a topic that we really need to talk about, and they're all preventable, folks. So we'll get more information when they come on. Now, as far as meetings go today, there is only one. GRF has their Finance Committee meeting, and that's at 9:30 in the boardroom. Now, let's get to the weather coming up. And saw a relatively cool weekend. In fact, it almost reminded me of fall conditions. That low pressure system that was right off our coast was just pulling in a lot of moisture and a lot of onshore wind that was coming with it as well. So we were down at the San Diego Fair down in Del Mar on Saturday, and you know, it was for this time of the year, it was quite chilly out there. But today, sort of a transition day. We got the morning fog, but it's going to kind of let loose after a while, and we're going to have a mostly sunny day as we get into the rest of the afternoon. I have 71 degrees. I think we'll at least get to that, maybe about 72. But then going forward, the high pressure system is going to begin to drop down. And as it does, it's going to warm things up and clear things up. So you can see we are not going to be real hot, but compared to the last few days, we are going to start to get warmer, and still it'll be cooler than what we had last week when we were up to about 90 or so. So we're going to stay in the low 80s, 79 Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, and I think Saturday will be right around the low 80s. Then it'll start to drop down once again. So some nice, pleasant weather coming our way, and we got the June gloom morning right now. I think tomorrow we'll probably get a little bit of it, but not as much, and then it'll really start to clear up the following days. Around Orange County and beyond today, things compared to last week at this time are all cooler anyway. Look at Palm Springs. They were about 110 this time last week. They're 99. Most of Orange County is going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Beaches are going to hover right around 68 degrees, and Lake Arrowhead, nice up there. They're nice and clear. They're above all this, about 67 degrees. So pleasant week coming up. Nice day today, sort of like a transition day from the cooler weekend we had to the slightly warmer days that are coming forward. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Kart Mart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Kart Mart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
Dental health is important, and it can be tough to find the best fit for your needs. Flora Stenger General and Specialty Dental Practice covers most of my dental needs in one location. Their on-staff specialists provide seamless services and communication between me, my doctors, and my insurance company. Located right down the road from Laguna Woods, our bus service stops right in front of their building. For the first time, I'm getting the dental care I need with the treatment I deserve. And my dental health has never been better. Call and book your first appointment today. I'm glad I did.
And I'd like to welcome John Frankel with us today from the third board. And today, well, you got a few things to talk about.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be
yeah,
here.
great to have you here. The first one you wanted to talk about was the Performing Arts Center. And tell us about this. I know that GRF is looking into remodeling parts of it and looking at different phases.
Well, the GRF, the Performing Arts Center has been an ongoing project now for several years. And we've looked at several alternatives, and we have hired a consultant who has prepared a detailed 131-page report, design development plan. And
is the report, I know, comprehensive, meaning it's not just looking at the interior, meaning the seating, the stage area, it's looking at the building as a whole?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And they have, in preparation for the report, they've called all of the players in, and they've all offered their opinions on the kinds of things that they would like to see, the kinds of improvements, a black box room and that sort of thing, improvements to the stage. The building itself has an inherent strength and doesn't have any code violations as far as seismic code, so it's in good shape. So the GRF was, M&C was scheduled last week to discuss and approve the second phase of this project. The first phase is a $1.6 million improvement, and it's going to talk about fire life safety, and it's going to talk about the required building improvements, and that $1.6 million has been approved and is budgeted. We haven't started the work yet. So the purpose of the GRF meeting last week, M&C, was to talk about the second phase. And the members of the GRF M&C proposed that we postpone that and let the PAC subcommittee evaluate that, and they're scheduled to meet this Friday. They want, because we really haven't done a detailed analysis. The second phase is 4.2 million. The first phase is 1.6 million. And so there's some questions about, well, which portion or all of that second phase do we want to do now? So we will be meeting this Friday, and any member is certainly interested, who's interested is certainly welcome to join the PAC ad hoc committee this Friday in the boardroom, and the PAC committee will take their recommendations back to the M&C committee, and a portion of that 4.2 or all of it or a portion of it will be then on the table for consideration by M&C.
Okay, very good. And next item you want to talk about are some benches.
Well, there's a fellow from who came to our landscape committee on the 7th of June and talked about a very popular walking area. It's called West Creek. I'm not really familiar with it because I don't live in Gate 11, but this West Creek area is in Gate 11 along the western perimeter, and apparently it's a very, very popular walking area. So he's proposing, gee whiz, let's put some benches out there. So Third Landscape Committee is not the appropriate place, and so we then referred it back to M&C Committee, the GRF M&C Committee. And so they reviewed it last Wednesday, and there was a proposal for 4 benches to be placed. And then we started to discuss it, and we realized that, gee whiz, there's some access issues here. The benches in and of themselves are not terribly expensive. In fact, they're relatively inexpensive. But we need to address the access area.
Okay.
Access to the area.
Okay.
And so the GRF has referred that issue back to staff, and they will be coming back to us with some recommendations with regard to access. And,
Okay.
and we will then move forward with the proposal and discuss it.
Very good. Now moving on to Energy Committee and Landscape Committee.
The Energy Committee has been considering an energy task force which would be comprehensive for all the mutuals, GRF and the 2 housing mutuals. And the issue was discussed also at the GRF board meeting this past week. It was on the 5th of June. And they are considering the issues. And so a draft version of something called the Village Energy Task Force Charter and Mission is now being reviewed and distributed by staff and being reviewed by staff and committee members. And we'll see just how that's going to work.
Okay.
It's complicated, and but we'll see what the best structure is. It appears that an optimum structure would include both the housing mutuals and GRF for some kind of a task force.
Okay, and moving on to the Landscape Committee.
We had a good meeting on the 6th of June. We had 9 residents in attendance in the boardroom. That's where the landscape, that's where most of the committees meet nowadays. And we discussed the West Creek area at that time, and some requests for tree removals, which is one of the issues that's on the front page for the most part, most of the time. Staff had some positive reports with regard to recruitment and also landscape tickets, which they're managing to close a higher percentage of these days, and so things are going well.
Okay.
Recruitment is an issue because there's a shortage well, we have a shortage of supervisors and, of course, personnel. They reported what their focus is. The Landscape Committee reported to us what their focus is on slope maintenance. For example, as you enter Gate 9, there's a very barren slope there. And so their focus is on slope maintenance and also on fire mitigation. Well, fire mitigation is along the western perimeter. And also along El Toro Boulevard, west of Gate 7, we have fire ladder issues. That's an issue where there's acacia bushes, which are highly vulnerable to fire, where they happen to be adjacent to trees.
Okay.
So that fire ladder issue is something that has to be addressed.
Okay, and then you have some upcoming meetings.
That's correct. We got a very important 3rd M&C meeting on the 2nd of July, and members are certainly welcome to attend. There'll be a report by the dry rot consultant. We hired a dry rot consultant who's done an analysis of 20 buildings here in the village for 3rd Mutual. Who these buildings were picked as a sample of the kinds of buildings we have.
Okay.
And the consultant is addressing the dry rot issues in these buildings and is preparing a solution for those buildings. And then we'll discuss that, and there's a hope that we can project the cost of those 20 buildings and those repairs throughout the entire 3rd Mutual. And therefore, we'll have an opportunity to have a good programming handle on the entire 3rd Mutual dry rot issue. We're spending about $1.5 million each year on dry rot as a part of the prior to paint program. We go in prior to paint and fix things, but it's as found.
Okay.
And we really do need to know overall programming costs are for dry rot.
Okay.
And so we can program the appropriate amount of money. And then tomorrow is our third board meeting, and members are certainly welcome to come and speak there. Each member will have 3 minutes to talk on any subject that they would like, as long as that subject is not on the agenda.
Okay. All right, very good.
And the agenda will include the usual things. We have 9 alteration standards that we're going to be considering. And also that's part of an overall updating of the alteration standards program, and also our committee reports: architecture, maintenance and construction, landscape, communications, and energy and technology.
All right, very good. I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, Ken.
And giving us an update. So especially when it comes to the dry rot and that, and of course the slopes and all.
Thank you.
Two ongoing big issues.
Thank you very much.
All right, good to see you, and we'll be right back.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Are you considering cremation? Pacific Cremation Society offers simple and affordable cremation plans. Why do families choose us? Simple and affordable, discounted membership pricing, chartered memorials at sea, expert service and compassionate care, free advanced planning guide and consultation. Call now for your free planning guide.
This is how we burger, brew, and cue. Pick a town. Arrive hungry, real hungry. Start with a massive burger. Charred, juicy, add bacon, a buttery bun, piled high. Serve it up, wash it down. Creamy, hoppy, fruity, malty. We're not done yet. Cue time, deep fried, sauce soaked, pork ribs, meaty, tender. I'm full. Where to next?
All new Burgers, Brew, and Q, Tuesday at 9. Cooking Channel. Stay fired up.
I'm Dr. Trin. You may know me from Memorial Care, Alzheimer's Orange County, and Irvine Clinical Research. Alzheimer's is the 3rd leading cause of death in Orange County. The problem is, we're making this diagnosis way too late, after the damage is done. We don't want to wait for this to happen. We want to catch this early. Please come see me for a free consultation and discuss ways to minimize your risk for Alzheimer's disease.
Welcome back. We have Dr. Turner with us today from Irvine Clinical Research, and he's here to talk about some clinical trials that have to do with Alzheimer's. Great to have you, sir, as always.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. So tell us about this. There's some new kinds of therapy out there.
We have a glimpse of potentially some hope in one of the recent clinical trials that have been published recently and announced. It was a we call it phase 2 clinical trials. And these clinical trials, the whole purpose is to get these medications through a scientific process, and if successful, to get them to the FDA for approval, and if approved, to bring these meds out to the public. And clinical trials go through phases. There is a preclinical phase where these meds are tested in mice and rats and different animals and things of that sort. If those studies in the preclinical phases are successful, we take it over to phase 1. Phase 1 clinical trials is designed to check for safety.
Okay.
To make sure that there's no major safety concerns, things of that sort. And if it passes through phase 1, it moves on to phase 2. Phase 2 looks and continues to look at safety, but also looks at a variety of dosing. Is it what doses work the best? Is it a 10 milligram dose, 50 milligram dose, 100 milligram dose?
Okay.
We look at variety of dosing in phase 2, and we continue to look at safety. And in addition to dosing, they look to see if the medication is supposed to do what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
With that. If phase 2 shows that a particular dose works, that it continues to be safe, and that it shows some promise in what it's designed to do, then the medication moves on to the last phase, which is phase 3. Phase 3 is where we develop, or where we put this medication through a larger group of patients, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands.
Okay.
A larger group of patients, to show that, again, that it's safe, that we got the right dose, and that it does what it's supposed to do. And once a medication goes through successfully, the preclinical phase, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, it goes to the FDA, and they say, hey, you know, we're successful in all these 3 phases, it does what it's supposed to do, will you approve it? And if the FDA says yes, then it goes on to the market, where a physician can write a prescription for it with that.
So the big question is, how long does that, I mean, the entire process, how long does that take?
Great question. From somebody's mind to an FDA approval, about 10 years.
Yeah, wow.
And billions of dollars.
Wow.
Yes, and sometimes it, you know, these new medications come out and they cost thousands of dollars. And who's going to be able to afford this? It's going to break the bank. And I feel for my patients, because oftentimes these meds come out and we're not able to afford it because of the price ticket that's tagged on. Other times I kind of see why the price ticket is high. These, you know, these drug companies spend billions and billions of dollars on this, which they're trying to recuperate.
Right.
So there's got to be some fair balance somewhere between there, because many of these clinical trials fail, whether in phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3. And when they fail, you know, that's just money gone that has been in, from the drug companies that they try to recuperate.
Let me ask you something about that. Although this, you know, I find that, you know, since we're talking about this, it's kind of a good discussion, because on one hand, the big drug companies, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but they want sick people. They look at the drug, they can we make money on this?
Right.
If only 1,000 people will benefit, that's not good. If millions will benefit, and something that will go on and on and on and on for decades, that's a good buy-in for us. I mean, let's face it, that's the way it is.
Right.
Is there a different way to be doing this, and maybe doing these drug trials through universities or something like that?
Universities do the drug trials.
Okay.
Yes, they do drug trials. Both universities, nonprofits, and for-profit organizations, they all participate in this.
Right.
And in particularly with Alzheimer's, we have had hundreds of trials for Alzheimer's. As you know, and I've spoken before about this, we have not had anything successful in the last 15 years.
Right.
We have not had anything new. 2 weeks ago, one particular medication, it was co-sponsored by Eisai and Biogen, I believe.
Okay.
This medication is in a class of medications of which we call BACE inhibitors. Beta amyloid cleaving enzyme BACE inhibitors. And what that is that when amyloid beta is being produced, it goes through these steps of production, and then it becomes, you know, this plaque, right? This amyloid beta plaque. This medication, in the category of BACE inhibitors, at the production level, it goes through and it blocks the production of amyloid with that. And so this is a large class of medication currently being studied, along with immunotherapy, which is another class of medication being studied for Alzheimer's. Immunotherapy, specifically, we use we call monoclonal antibodies, where we infuse these antibodies in the patients once a month, once every few months, with the goal of, again, actually training the immune system to recognize the plaque as the bad guy, and the immune system theoretically will gobble up the plaque and remove it. So the antibody treatment removes plaque, whereas BACE inhibitor stops and blocks production. So you got production being stopped in one category, and removal of the plaque in another category of studies, two large categories. So this BACE inhibitor was shown in the news, I think Alzheimer's News Today or something like that, recently, was shown to be effective in its phase 2, where it was determined that it was able to reduce plaque in the brain, which was exciting. But not only that, it was statistically significant, meaning they looked at it and they made sure that it wasn't an accident, it wasn't random. But not only did they reduce plaque in the brain, but the second phase of that, or the second thing they were looking at, was that they were able to move in the right direction of slowing down memory loss.
Wow.
So here you have plaque removal and slowing down memory loss hand in hand in this one study, which was neat. It's the first time a BACE inhibitor actually has gotten this far to show both reduction in plaque and a movement toward slowing down memory loss. Phase 2 study. The phase 3 study is something we're conducting in our office now with this medication.
Very good.
So it was really exciting news.
And it goes through that, what, about a year does it take?
It's a multi-year study with that. If successful in phase 3, obviously this may be the first new medication that we have had in 15 years, or over 15 years, with that to slow this down. But I saw that in the news probably 2-3 weeks ago. And it's always exciting to see some glimpse of hope, because so many clinical trials have failed in Alzheimer's treatment. With
this is really good, And it, like you said, it takes so long that you know, even now you still got a few more years to go on this.
Right. These studies, they're from beginning to end. It's about 10 years. It's the process we have set up to ensure that these medications are studied in detail and appropriately, and not to rush these meds out. Later to find out that it wasn't, you know, something was bad with it. But at the same time, folks are waiting for hope. And we don't have a great deal to offer from an FDA, you know, medication approved perspective with that.
Well, this is good news. And how does somebody get into this trial? I mean, what's the qualifications? What do you look at?
They would just see me in the office. As you know, I do free consultations. And they would just contact us, come in, see me for a free consultation, and I would assess their medical history, look at their meds, and see if they're a good candidate for any one of our trial.
And now, for trials like this, at what point are they? At the beginning stages? If they're more the advanced stages, are they unfortunately past that? For this one, you just
for
told
this
me
one, mild, mild to moderate, I believe, is the official. But we're looking for patients who have some memory loss, but not severe memory loss, because our goal is to stop the damage before it's done. And so that's why we look for more the mild phase with that.
All right. Well, that's good news.
Very good news so far. We'll see what happens in phase 3.
Well, if you want to contact Dr. Trin, you can. HealthyBrainClub.com is the website. The number is 949-753-1663 for a free consultation, and possibly, you know, you or maybe someone you know could be a candidate for one of these trials. So,
definitely.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Take care.
Good
we'll
to
be
see
right
you.
back.
All right.
I'm coming for you, Cancer. With California Protons, I now have the technology and expertise to fight with unmatched precision. I'll zero in and wear you down with radiation, millimeter by millimeter. You won't weaken me. I'll spare my tissues and protect myself against future threats. Cancer, you're history. I'm looking to the future.
Well, I think it's something patients want to hear about. Sometimes we feel that getting a disease like cancer or any chronic disease is somewhat out of our control. But there are factors that we can actually do every day that can help to keep ourselves on the healthier side of things. And certainly diet plays a huge role. We know that as an industrial nation, and most nations as they become industrialized, the incidence of cancer goes up dramatically. And part of that is because the dietary habits change as we become more industrialized. Convenience foods are foods of convenience, but not foods of health. And so what I like to do is really bring it back to the basics and what is in the food that we're eating that can affect our health, and what can we do to reverse those changes. There have been lots of studies to show that clean eating for a period of 3 to 6 months can actually reverse disease processes. And studies that show that certain eating patterns can lead to a lower risk of developing cancer. So all of these things taken together, I think, bring that level of education to the patient so that they can make good choices and hopefully not end up in my office as a cancer patient.
Breast density may be the hottest topic in breast care today. The history of breast care is amazing, because up until 30 or 40 years ago, we only caught big cancers. We caught them when they were great big lumps. And then mammogram came on the scene. And over a period of years, we've been able to prove that women who have regular screening mammogram every year starting at 40 were able to reduce breast cancer mortality by 30%. This is one of the major benefits that we've made in the past several decades. The unfortunate side of the story is mammograms miss cancers. And these missed cancers can go on for a period of time, and by the time we make the diagnosis with an ultrasound or a larger lump, they oftentimes need chemotherapy and their chances for survival go down. We've now identified that the big problem with mammography is some of the breasts are dense and it's hard to see a cancer. A cancer basically shows up as a white spot. In a breast that's fatty, the background is black, so the white spot lights up like a light bulb. But in a white breast, a dense breast, it's like finding a snowman in a snowstorm. It just blends in. You can't see it. So guess what? All you need to see that lump is an ultrasound. And we now have screening ultrasound technologies that we use for women who have dense breasts on the mammogram, and we are picking up major, small, aggressive cancers at a very early stage, where the mammogram, even the three-dimensional mammogram, the 3D mammogram has missed them. So this technology is life-saving. And it's so life-saving, it's such a big deal, that California has passed a law saying that doctors, by law, must inform patients that if your breasts are dense, the mammogram does not work as well. And there are 2 screening options that will pick up cancers missed on the screening mammogram. One is the MRI. Now, the MRI is just great if you have a real strong family history, first-degree relatives, multiple relatives, ovarian cancer in the family, they'll pay for the MRI. So that's one major step for those women who are at very high risk. But most women don't have that kind of a strong family history, and most of the time the insurance doesn't pay. And so now we have the screening ultrasound, and at RadNet, our BreastLink, we've reduced it to the lowest possible price. So for $199, you can get screened. Now, at first, we didn't know what's going to happen with that test. We purchased it a year ago. We have doubled the pickup of small cancers, and 2 of the 3 cancers that we've picked up in the last few months have been very aggressive killer-type cancers that were completely missed on the mammogram. This small investment in your health pays off in spades, because there's 2 things that happen when you get the ultrasound. 1, you save your life because you find an early cancer. 2, you sit back and relax and say, I know everything's okay. It's another layer of protection, and it makes you confident that you're doing everything right. Make sure that if you are to get breast cancer, you're going to catch it early.
The El Toro Water District Phase 2 Recycled Water Expansion Project has installed over 21,000 feet of recycled water pipelines and is now over 75% complete. The final pipeline installations, as well as installations of service lines and final paving, should be complete by July. The connections of the individual irrigation systems to the new recycled water pipelines should be complete by the end of the year. The district sincerely appreciates your patience as we enhance the water supply resources in the Laguna Woods area.
Well, about every couple years or so, we have a changing of the guard, so to speak, with the Orange County Fire Authority Public Information Officer. And today I have their newest one on, who just took over a few weeks ago, Anthony Barmarito, Captain Anthony Barmarito. And of course, Steve Concialdi is here as well, because Steve kind of still comes back and fills in when you can. So welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here,
Yeah,
Steve. Good to see you. We saw
See
Steve just, was it a week ago? A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, during
great.
the Aliso fire.
Yeah, during the Aliso fire. First, let's get to know you. What has been your current station over the last few years, and how'd you get on board with this?
So first, you have to call me Tony.
Okay.
Because only my mom calls me Anthony.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, I've been a fireman for 28 years. Last 11 years, I've been in the city of Irvine. I've been a paramedic now for probably just over 21 years.
Okay.
So loved working in Irvine. I actually grew up there, went to high school there, so that's kind of where I...
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I worked a lot of stations in Irvine, so that's where I've been for the last few years.
Very good. So this opportunity came about, and of course, the captain before you was Larry Kurtz.
Yeah.
And did he contact you, or you just saw this position opening
You know,
up?
so about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, we started what we call relief PIO. It just became too much for one guy.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so
Steve, yeah.
so when Steve first got in, he didn't have the ability to have those backup PIOs.
Yeah.
So he was at 24/7, which makes it super hard on your
It does.
family, your kids, your wife. So they started the relief PIO position. So these guys would come in and fill in on weekends or in major incidents, just to kind of give the main PIO relief. So that's what I've been doing for about the last 2.5 years. So I just enjoyed it. So I just decided to go for the full-time position.
Yeah, and of course, over the last 3 weeks that you've kind of taken over, 3-4 weeks, we've had, let's see, the Aliso fire. We've had several spot fires. We had one over just a few days ago. I think it was Live Oak Canyon.
Yeah.
So you've been
the
busy.
explosion in Aliso Viejo.
Yeah, the explosion.
That was the
in Aliso
second
Viejo.
day.
Yeah,
yes.
Which is the fires we don't like, but unfortunately they're common. That was really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, so, you know, and that was different. That, you know, with the fires, we're always fighting Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for us. That Aliso Viejo fire took off because of the winds. There's just really erratic winds inside that canyon. So that made it worse. We had those air assets on it, so that made it, or helped us a lot in attacking that fire. But yeah, fires, I've had some media guys tell me that they haven't seen, or they've seen me more than they've seen a lot of PIOs in a year, just with these last few incidents.
Yeah, and what I've noticed, Steve, is over the years, and we've talked about this, how the air attack is so much quicker now than what it used to be. As I mentioned just last week, I forget what day it was, Thursday maybe, there was, I went over to my wife's school and just cleaning up after the, after the season, after the school year. All of a sudden I look up and I go, wow, there's smoke. And as we mentioned, sometimes it's hard to see it, notice where it is. It turns out it was right over by Live Oak Canyon, about that area. But it was just the air attack. There were at least two fixed wings that I saw. There was, I think, 3 helicopters coming in. There might have been more, that's what I saw, but they took care of it very quickly.
Wednesday night, Live Oak Canyon,
yes.
There was a roadside start by O'Neill Park, and that fire quickly ran towards the homes.
Yeah.
So we had Orange County Fire's helicopter as well as the sheriff's helicopter, and they each made about 5 drops on the fire, as well as the air tankers. 2 air tankers came in from CAL FIRE, made 4 significant retardant drops, and kept that fire away from the homes.
Yeah, that was, do you know how that started yet? Or
it's still under investigation, just like a lot of these recent fires.
Yeah, all right. So it's nice to see, unfortunately, this is a fact of life now. And it's great to see the response by all the different agencies and how they're coming together. So that's
the Aliso fire, when I came on Friday, that was right after the week after that fire, it was still under investigation. That night it was finally determined. Our investigators did an outstanding job, just talking to witnesses, other people, gathering photos and video, and it was determined to be an accidental fire started by a juvenile. But again, it was an accidental cause. And but it was great investigation work, and now we know that that wasn't suspicious, it wasn't arson, it was an accident.
Yeah. If there's just one more thing I could add, I just want to remind everyone, we don't have a designated fire season anymore. It used to be May to December.
Yeah.
Because we live in the desert, there is no rain, we have a year-round fire season, so that's pretty significant.
Yeah, so great response in all of these. Now we're going to get into a subject that is sad, and it's sad because drownings are usually 100% preventable. And just recently we had a couple that one was definitely a high-profile one. And I know you folks put together this training video, and we have it on in the background here. But let's talk about these statistics. And so far this year, we're going to bring up a slide in just a moment. 2018, there's been 22 total incidents, and I think out of that, 13 have been fatal. 13 or 14? Yeah, 13. It's most of the time they're preventable. I understand somebody may go, even a strong swimmer could get caught in a rogue wave out in the ocean somewhere, but especially the pool ones are preventable.
Right, and that's why Orange County Fire stresses the ABCs of water safety. That A is active supervision at all time, barriers to have some sort of isolation fence or safety fence separating the house from the pool or the spa, and then C for classes. Teach your children how to swim and teach CPR. The high profile one you were saying was very tragic. You know, both Tony and I worked on that, and it just was a small child, 19-month-old, just was with her mom. And mom was just talking to a neighbor, and quickly that daughter got out of her sight. They're drawn towards the water. The daughter went in the backyard where there was nobody there, and somehow she got into the water. It was extremely tragic.
Along those lines, is there, because I don't really know the answer to this, is there a code where you have to have a safety fence around your pool, or new pools or existing ones? I honestly don't know that.
So there are 7 things, and you have to have 2 of the 7. Okay. And that is a newer code. It used to be 1. So over the years, when you put in a pool, like in your spa in your backyard, you had to have an alarm or some alert, or you could have a cover over it or a fence. And the building inspector would check that off.
Right.
So now the new law is 2 out of 7 items, safety items. But again, it's hard to enforce that. When the pool or the spa is just put in, that's checked off. But after that, it's on the owner of the resident to maintain that.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. And I know how when we moved into our home, we have a little corner spa, and there was no fence around it. And once my daughter was born, and I think she was about 9 months old, I'm trying to think when we put it in, that's when my father-in-law and I put one in. And it still stands. It's a little rusted in certain areas. She's 11 and a half now, but it's still there. And we made sure we put that in right away.
Yeah, and so that's one of the problems is when we get these pools installed and the safety devices put in, a lot of times people remove them just because they feel like they're inconvenient. And I'll be honest with you, I have a pool in my backyard, I had a safety fence put in. When my kids grew up, they knew how to swim. I removed that safety fence. But now my wife babysits my niece that's 8 months old. She's not really crawling yet, but we put that that fence up every time she's there, just in case.
So you have one of those, I know there's like these portable kind of ones.
Yeah, right? So they go in poles that are set in the concrete. So it takes me about 3 or 4 minutes to set up. It's a self-closing gate. We don't have to worry about it. Problem solved.
Yeah, it's those are good to have. And you know, the main thing is though, right now what you brought on here is the water watch tags, and how important these are when you have a family gathering or your kids have a pool party or something like that.
Yeah, and we're just asking if you do have a party in your backyard or you have people over, there'd be a designated water watcher, somebody that wears this and their sole responsibility is for those 15 or 20 minutes to watch the water, because it happens so quick. Children drown without a sound, like we say every year. This child that went into the pool, nobody heard her. There was no screaming or yelling that anybody heard. And so that's why they're so tragic, because they can be prevented. And so if we could save one life, it is worth it. But we've always talked about, it's not only the young.
Right, I mean, looking at the statistics.
Well, the stats
here
for like 2017, for the adults that are 50 years and older, out of the 42 fatal drownings that we had for the entire year, 22 were adults 50 years or older.
That's incredible.
And those are people that are swimming alone, or in a backyard spa or their pool alone, or they're in their bathtub and there's nobody around. And they either have a medical emergency, they get lightheaded or dizzy, low blood sugar, or something happens, or they get fatigued. And if there's nobody there to help you and raise your head above water, then you're going to drown.
Yeah, yeah, and that is a remarkable statistics, because most people, if you said, well, what's the highest percentage, and they're going to go little kids, well, I'm looking at least what you sent me the other day on 2018. Right now, the highest statistic is 65 and older as far as fatals. In incidents, it's incredible.
Yeah, so we assume that we all know how to swim at 65, and that's usually the case. But what happens is we have medical emergencies.
Yeah.
So as we get older, so that's the importance of always having a partner or somebody there while you're swimming.
Yeah.
And that bring up another fact with that water watcher tag. That's a good thing to wear at a party. And we definitely ask that the person that's responsible for watching the water is not drinking. We always try to say alcohol does not mix with swimming.
Right.
So if you can't, if everybody is some reason partaking in the party, you can hire a lifeguard. And,
you can.
Yeah, again, and that's problem solved.
Yeah, and that's, I know more and more people are doing that, especially if they're having a large party, especially a kid's pool party, and they're going out and doing that. There's lots of services, and you know, all the money that you might spend on the party favors, on the food, spending an extra $100, $150 to have a lifeguard there for whatever hours it is, you know.
It's worth it. Peace of mind.
It is well worth it.
Yeah.
And they can even get, like they do in a lot of the local pools in our area, they have their safety break, and they go, everybody out of the pool. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're out of the pool. Of course, it gives the lifeguard a little bit of a break, but it's a great way to clear everything, make sure everything's all right, and so I would recommend that. Now here we have lifeguards in this community, but if you know somebody, some family, friends that are looking forward to some big pool party or whatever it might be, look into that, because it's really well worth the cost.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world, and it's just very easy. It's one phone call away.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Tony. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm going to be seeing you a lot
hopefully
more.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be.
And interesting fact, during the 1993 Laguna fire, Tony was one of the first engines that arrived on that scene.
Wow.
And they saved a number of homes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been with the fire authority for how many years?
I've been 28 years.
28 years.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have you on. It's
Thanks,
great. Steve, I know one way or another we always see Steve again.
Yeah.
And we also bring on a lot of other great people from the Orange County Fire Authority throughout the year, and they talk about specific things. And we're always thankful that you guys come on. So, and you guys, you women too. Alexa, I know she's in the back there, right?
Right. Yeah, she is.
Well, she comes on now and then as well, Alexa Pratt. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
The eye care experts at Harvard Eye Associates have been treating the vision of patients in Southern California for over 30 years. As a leader in multi-specialty eye care, our doctors specialize in cataracts, glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK vision correction, oculoplastics, and diabetic eye care. As an approved FDA research center, our doctors offer surgical techniques and technology not available to the general public. Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today. Laguna Hills, San Clemente. Call 800-974-EYES.
My name is Angela. I'm 51 years old and I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. Before the surgery, I was struggling to breathe. I was missing out a lot on playing with my son. I decided to go to Hoag from Nevada to have my mitral valve repair because the surgeons there are excellent.
My personal approach to patient care is really taking care of a patient as if they were a member of my family.
After the surgery, I can chase him and run around and play with him as much as he wants. It's like a miracle. It's like this patient made it through the toughest time in their life, and it's an awesome feeling.
The feeling to see these patients recover, especially when they're critically ill like that, it's just the best feeling in the world.
We wanted this to be one of the top cardiovascular centers in the region, the state, the nation, and to be recognized for that. We've achieved that.
If I had to go back and make the same choice, I would choose Hoag again. They treated me like family. This changed my life, and now I get to be with my son.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there, but some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
Stroke is the leading cause of death and disability in the United States. Stroke occurs when blood vessel in the brain becomes blocked or bursts. Memorial Care Stroke Center at Saddleback Memorial Hospital is one of the few stroke receiving centers in Orange County. We offer state-of-the-art, minimally invasive technology, exceptional and compassionate care, ultimately leading to better quality of life. When stroke happens, every minute matters. At Stroke Center at Saddleback Memorial Hospital, we offer 24/7 rapid and efficient stroke care.
You may know AgeWell for delivering life-saving Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors, but did you know they keep seniors active and engaged at 10 modern centers? Serve nutritious congregate meals amid friendly surroundings, transport seniors safely to and from appointments, and provide much-needed equipment and other essential services. Now, this vital nonprofit organization needs your support to sustain its mission. This is AgeWell Senior Services. Won't you make it yours?
One of the other meetings that are going on today, it is the JRF Media and Communications Committee in the boardroom at 1:30. So if you'd like to, you are welcome to attend that, as that is an open meeting. Now I want to tell you about a fun giveaway that we are doing, and this is for the classic movie West Side Story, and this is being done along with Fathom Events and also TCM. Fathom Events, they do a lot of different events in the movie theaters, and there was just one. I was at the theater the other day. They do the concerts and all kinds of special movie events. Well, this one is coming up on June 24th and 27th, and we are giving away 2 4-packs of tickets. Now, what you need to do, the first 2 people to email us at village.television@vmsinc.org. That's village.television@vmsinc.org. The first 2 people to email us that's the only way, will win these 4-pack of tickets. And the showing, again, will be either the 24th or the 27th. And I believe this one is being shown at the Aliso Theaters up here. I'm not sure the exact location, but it's right around here. The classic West Side Story, a great movie that came out, I think, in the early 1960s, and you'll be able to see this wonderful musical. So again, email us, the first 2 people to email us at village.television@vmsinc.org will win these 4 packs of tickets. So email now. All right, I want to tell you about our movies that are coming up this week. And the one tonight is, today and tonight, I should say, is Game Night. And very different movie. It combines a comedy, a little intrigue, a little bit of everything. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams star. And basically, this is about some couples that have game nights, weekly game nights, and usually there's some sort of a little mystery involved, like something happens and they have to guess the outcome of it or what really happened. What turns out that when one of the members gets kidnapped, is it part of the game or is it real? So you're kind of along on the ride with this to figure out what it is. But again, it has some comedy in it. It has it's kind of a thriller, a little intrigue, a little bit of everything. Very different movie. That is today at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. It's rated R, really for language. And not a real long movie, about 100 minutes long. So Game Night tonight. And then our other movie coming up on Friday real quick is Wait for Your Laugh. And that is about Rosemary, if you remember her. I remember her from the Dick Van Dyke Show. And it's a documentary about her. And as she grew up from the stages of vaudeville to the bright lights of Vegas to, of course, the Dick Van Dyke Show. And she would appear on the Hollywood Squares and all those kind of game shows as well. So that will be our Friday movie. Weather today, sort of a transition day, as I said. A little bit warmer and less clouds than we saw yesterday. Kind of a cool weekend, right? But then as we move forward, we're going to start to warm things up as a high pressure system begins to move into our area. And we won't get as hot as we did as last week, but we'll get up into the low 80s. So still a little bit on the cool side, definitely below average. And then as we move forward, kind of average on, I would say, closer to average on Tuesday and Wednesday, then going up a little bit up in temperatures for Thursday and Friday and probably Saturday. So nice weather coming up around Orange County, averaging mid to upper 70s. Beaches are going to hover right around the 68-degree mark. So there you are for our weather. All right, we will see you tomorrow. We're going to get members of the Duplicate Bridge Club, Supervisor Lisa Bartlett, somebody from the Ocean Institute, and also a presentation, Rhapsody in Blue. We'll tell you about that tomorrow. Take care.